At the far end of town, where the cricket grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the cricket grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see the day where the Lorax once stood as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. Now, what was the Lorax? Why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town, where the cricket grass grows, the old Wansler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Wansler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurking on top of his store.
He stays in his lurking, cold under the floor, where he makes his own clothes out of muffled milk. And on special dang midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 50 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-grandfather's snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amounts. Then he hides what you paid him away in his left, his secret strange hole in his scribbleless glove. Then he grunts,
I will call you by my whisper, my friend. For the sake of I tell it, but for your ears alone.
Slip! Down slips the whisper phone to your ear, and the old Wansler whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snarly hoarse, and he sounds as if he has smallish bees up his nose.
Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding grey, how the Lorax got taken and lifted away. It all started way back, a long, long time back. Way back in the day, when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the songs of the swarms once out in space. One day I came to this glorious place. And I first saw the trees, the truffler trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffler trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees were the brown barbalutes, frisking in their barbalute suits, as they played in the shade and ate truffler fruits. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffler trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of the tufts was softer than silk, and they had the sweetest smell of a fresh buttery milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart, and I knew I just had to unload with my cart. And in no time at all, I had built a small shop, and I chopped down a truffler tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill, and with great speed, I took the soft tufts and knitted a need. The instant I'd finished, I heard a great gazoop. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was a sort of a man, describe him. That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpest and bossy.
Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees, for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you've made of my truffle tuft?
Look, Lorax, I said. There's no cause for alarm. I just chopped one tree and I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. The thing is a need. The need is to find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. It has other uses and yes, far beyond of that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or even bicycle seats. The Lorax said, "Sir,
You are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who will buy that fool's need." But the very minute he proved that the Lorax he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along and he thought that the need was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. The Onceler laughed at the Lorax.
You poor stupid guy. You can never tell what some people will buy."
"I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the truth."
"I'm busy," I told him. "Shut up, if you please." I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, "Now listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Wanted family to get my TH. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken. Sharp right at South Stitch." And no time at all, in the factory I built, the Wansler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting sleeves just as busy as bees, to the sound of chopping of the truffler trees. Then, oh baby, how my business did grow. Oh, now chopping one tree at a time was far too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which could cut 4 truffler trees at one smacker. We were making these 4 times as fast as before. And that old Lorax, oh, he doesn't show up anymore. But then the next week, he knocked on my new door. He snapped.
"I'm the Lorax, who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in their barbaloots suits and happily live eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruit to go round. And my poor barbaloots are all getting the crumbs because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They will have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys." Onceler.
I, the Onceler, sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crumbs in tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to go bigger, so bigger I got. So I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of the fleas I shipped out. I was shipping them out forth to south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more fleas, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again, he came back when I was fixing some fights. That old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I am the Lorax," he coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffed. He snuggled, he sniffed. "Onceler," he cried with a querulous croak.
"Onceler, you're making such smokeless smoke. My poor swarmy swans. Why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smoke in his throat. Please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month, a year, to escape from the smoke we smoke up around here." "What's more," snapped the Lorax, his tender was up, Let me say a few words about Gloopity-Gloop. Your machinery chugs on, day and night, without stop making Gloopity-Gloop. Also, Schloppity-Schlop. And what do you do with this leftover gold? I show you. You dirty old monster man, you've climbed in the pond where the humming fish hum. Nowhere can they hum, for their gills are all gum. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They will walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary.
Then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend on doing what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on bickering and bickering and bickering and bickering, turning more truffle trees into things which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From the outside in the fields came a snickering smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. The very last truffle tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, every one of them, all waved back my goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggled stars. Now all that was left beneath this bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I.
Mary. The Lorax said nothing, just gave a glance. Just a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place. Took a hole in the smoke without leaving a trace, and all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago. But each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my building have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a full lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the monster. He let something fall.
It's a truffle seed, the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffle seeds. And truffle trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from the axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all his friends may come back.